moist, delicious, gluten-free coffee cake. The secret to this moist, delicious cake? Sour cream. I'm going to show you how to make the moistest, most delicious coffee cake ever. Let's fix it. Before starting this recipe, you want to get a stick of butter and 2 eggs up to room temperature. We're going to make the topping first, so chop half a cup of walnuts coarsely.
You want to help me find my nuts?
Very tempting, Hammy, very tempting.
So my technique is pretty straightforward. Just chop going one direction. Then we'll go the other direction. Then kind of regather. Then we'll do one more pass and call it good. Just going to double check my measurement real quick, make sure we still have half a cup. That looks good, so into the bowl. Now we're going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'll just mix that up with a fork. I like this part because it really stirs up the cinnamon and it smells good. I'll put that aside for now. You need a bundt pan for this recipe, and you need to lube it up, so I'm using butter and I'm covering all the inside. I'm just going to put a spoonful of flour and a few taps of cinnamon into this little bowl, mix it up, and that will be sprinkled onto the pan. If you have ever made a cake before, you know you need to butter and flour the inside of the pan. Well, that's just boring. Let's put in some cinnamon and we'll add a little extra flavor as well. You'll really appreciate the difference. Tip the pan on its side, tap it, and the flour will kind of spill down to the bottom, and keep it rotating and work your way to cover the bottom and then do the sides. I normally do this over the sink because then the flour just drops into the sink and doesn't make a mess, but to film it, I decided to do it on the counter here, and it does make a little mess, but it's okay. And of course you want to remember to get the center of the pan as well. That's the part that tends to stick the worst, actually. All right, that's looking good. I'm just going to tap the remnants over the sink and clean up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Next is mixing the dry ingredients. I'm going to start off with 2 cups of gluten-free flour mix, which is 296 grams. I usually measure my flour by weight, and I'm using Bob's Red Mill gluten-free blend again. It's a 1-to-1, and it works every time. Next, a teaspoon of baking powder. And a teaspoon of baking soda. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We'll just give that a quick stir. So the overall plan here is to mix the dry ingredients, then get the sour cream ready, and then start building the cake batter in my electric mixer. And we'll set that aside for now. I'm going to measure out a cup of sour cream, which is 120 grams. I find sour cream very difficult to measure by volume, so I always use weight instead. Just a little too much here, so I put some back. I'm going to crack my 2 eggs into a bowl just to make sure I don't get any shells in there by mistake. Oh, there's one right there. I saved the coffee cake by cracking the egg into a bowl and caught the shell. Hannibal would be proud.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Now it's time to build the batter. I'm going to add my stick of softened butter, which is of course 1/2 cup. Giving the butter a quick mix to get things started. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. And we'll just emulsify that for a few minutes. When I say a few minutes, I really do mean a few minutes. This is the most important step, is to properly emulsify the butter and the sugar. Scrape it down real quick. To make sure that everything gets emulsified properly, I do scrape down, and then I probably mix it for a total of maybe 5 minutes or so in the mixer to really get the proper texture. Here's an extreme close-up of the texture you want. It almost looks like fluffy mashed potatoes. It's ready for the eggs. We're just going to add one egg at a time. To get the proper emulsification, it really is best to do one egg at a time. Wait until it's fully mixed in, and then add the second. Here goes the second egg, and you want to notice how creamy this batter is starting to get when everything's mixed in properly. That's looking really good. So now we're going to alternate adding the dry ingredients and the sour cream. I'm going to start with the dry ingredients first, just a little bit. I've found that starting with the dry ingredients works better. Starting with the wet ingredients, sometimes the batter will split, but the dry ingredients act as a binder, so if you start there and then alternate with the sour cream and then the flour and back and forth that way, you should be able to build a creamy batter that won't split. And you can see I'm alternating back and forth 3 or 4 times, so that way it gets distributed more evenly into the batter. There's one more ingredient to add, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I don't know what it is, but it seems like I forget to add the vanilla quite a bit making this recipe, so I put it next to the sour cream and I don't forget it that way. That batter's come together really nice. Let's take it off the mixer and we'll build the coffee cake. So of course with a coffee cake you want that nice layer of cinnamon and nuts in the middle. And this batter is nice and thick, so it's going to really hold up to that layer and it's not going to sink to the bottom. So let's get started. I'll put in about half the batter right now and then we'll do our first layer of cinnamon and walnuts. This batter is actually kind of tricky to work with because it's too thick to just pour out, but it's too sticky to treat like bread. So you just have to be careful, try not to get it everywhere, and also try your best to only get about half the batter in for your first layer. Now we'll just spoon in some of the topping. The sugar and cinnamon and the walnuts don't really scoop up the same, and the walnuts tend to float on the top, so just do your best to try and get about half the walnuts and half the sugar mix. Now the second layer of the batter. This part is trickier than it looks too, because you're trying to get an even layer on the top and the batter's really sticky. You're also trying not to disturb the layer of sugar and walnuts you just put in there. So you're kind of being ginger with it, but also you're trying your best to make sure you get all the batter out. Now we'll smooth it out a little bit. Careful here as well, you want to create a flat layer, but also you're trying not to disturb the walnuts and sugar underneath, so just be gentle with the spatula. And the rest of the topping. The top layer of cinnamon, sugar, and walnuts is always satisfying to me. I feel like I'm at the end of building my little cake project. I like to just gently press the topping in a little bit so it'll stick a little better when it bakes. Don't push too hard though, because this batter is sticky. You don't want to make a mess of things. After baking this and you try to turn it out of the pan, the topping tends to want to fall off, so I'm trying to push down here and get as much of it stuck into the batter as possible. Ready to go. Now into the oven for about 45 minutes. That looks really good and smells amazing. I did a toothpick test. It was actually ready at 43 minutes. Coffee cake goodness that I'm sure Newman would appreciate.
Wow. Where did you get that?
So we'll just let that cool for about 10 minutes or so in the pan, and then comes the challenging part, trying to remove it from the pan and keep the cake intact. About 10 minutes has passed and the cake has shrunk away from the pan a little bit, which is great. So my plan is to run a knife around the edges just to make sure nothing's sticking, and then I'm going to turn it into a towel and then flip it over again using the towel and set it on the cooling rack to cool the rest of the way. Let's give it a try. You'll notice I'm applying very light pressure as I work my way around the cake. I just don't want to cut into it, and I also am trying not to scratch the pan too much. And eventually, as I work the sides like this, you'll eventually see that portions of the cake will separate from the sides and we'll know it's ready. Don't forget to go around the inside. That's usually the part that sticks the most. That's right. It's very easy to overlook loosening up the inside here. But if you don't, a big chunk of the cake will break off when you flip it upside down. So just take a minute and gently go around the inside too. Putting my towel down flat and getting ready for the big flip. You can't really see this on camera very well, unfortunately, but I put the towel on top of the cake and then I flip it out upside down. Here goes nothing. Right away you can see a little sugar spillage. That's unavoidable, but it's okay. There should still be plenty left on the cake. Then I'm going to give this a try. The cake isn't freed up yet. So what do? Take a knife and tap it gently. Then voila, the cake comes free. That was the easy part. The hard part is actually flipping the cake back over using the towel and not crushing it in any way. How about giving me a like for extra luck?
It takes a very steady hand.
Come on, chef. You can do it. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Whew. Okay. The hard part's over. I'm just going to wait for it to cool to room temperature, which should take a couple hours, and then we'll do a taste test. The coffee cake's all cool now, and it looks really great. All set for cutting. Let's see how it is. What do you think? Would this coffee cake keep Newman quiet?
That's the full size.
That's your big boy.
One of my favorite Seinfeld bits of all time. And no, it's not just because I love coffee cake, it's just super funny. So back to the task at hand. This is a very delicate cake, so I use a serrated knife and cut very gently. So you can see the flavor layer right here with the cinnamon, sugar, and the walnuts. Well, let's give it a taste, shall we? Oh, that cake is just packed with cinnamon, sugar, walnut flavor. Look at that. Oh yeah, that just takes me back to childhood Christmases. It's such a tender cake. It's very moist with the sour cream. Has a perfect crumb structure from the way we built it by emulsifying all the ingredients properly as we went. It's just a perfect cake. I really hope you try making this cake for your friends and family this holiday season. Thanks for watching.